Last month, Idaho's GOP decided to hold their summer meeting in the middle of the Idaho wilderness. Challis, Idaho. Not quite the middle of nowhere, but not easily accessible for many of the party. And while they were there, members of the GOP decided also to do a few things, including removing the voting rights of a few members of the executive committee. The Idaho Young Republicans, the College Republicans, and the Idaho Federation of Republican Women, which prompted this text message from Rhonda. You need to do a segment on the 2-8 about the Idaho Republican Women Committee being upset about having their vote removed from the Idaho Republican Executive Council. Well, Rhonda, we kind of already talked about this a little bit. Fresh from that summer meeting, we sat down with former Idaho Republican Chairman Tom Luna, who said this about the removing of voting rights of Republican women.
We know that the workers of our party are the Republican women, and we want the base of women across Idaho to grow when it comes to Republicans.
Okay, so they're the workers of the party. Well, what does that mean? Well, the Idaho Federation of Republican Women told us today, in 2 years, it means 43,000 volunteer hours. That comes out to $1.3 million worth of labor. And so their reward for that? Getting their opinion removed from the executive committee. Here's what else they had to say to Andrew Bartline.
For decades, the GOP's been Idaho's dominant political party, led today by the elected leader of the populace, Governor Brad Little.
I remember all the years we didn't have Republican governors in this state. Those are the kind of individuals that we will support and try to get elected.
Tracy Wasden leads the Idaho Federation of Republican Women.
Yes, yes.
Under the big tent, she's gotten a big voice.
For over 50 years.
Till now, where she's turned mute.
For us to lose that vote on the board, not right. That should not happen. Women from across this state should not be happy with that.
At the GOP summer meeting, the party voted to take away executive committee voting rights from the Young Republicans, College Republicans, and the Federation of Republican Women.
And there are many people that are coming in from out of state trying to tell us that we're not Republican enough. So many of these people have not even been here 5 years, and they're into our politics and telling us how to run things. It is crazy.
So Republican women elected you to represent them?
Exactly.
And the Idaho GOP says, we don't need to hear your voice on this committee?
Yes. When there are less votes, there is more control by fewer people. And so they did not want my voice and my vote.
And it took a 137 to 79 vote to take it all away.
And to see those numbers. Those are not good numbers. I know that. And that was not something I want to go through again.
Seems like a small vote. When Chairman Moon was elected, there was like 400 or something votes. Why is that pool so much smaller?
Well, first of all, that was up in Challis, Idaho. Not an easy place to get. That was made like that by design. Less people, more powerful votes on one side.
Have you started to pick up on the theme here yet?
Less votes, more power.
But how do you find a young woman in the state of Idaho and say, the GOP is the party for you? How do you make that sales pitch?
That is difficult in some circumstances because of what has happened. But I will still do that. There are good young women around, and I will continue to work for those women to come and join us.
Tracy Wasden says she is not leaving the party. Rather, she continues to work to lead the party than leave the party. She says the support for this vote came through a pamphlet that was given to all people who were voting at that time. She says it held half-truths, and it was handed out just before the voting began. And support for this vote, Brian, the argument would be that the elections for these positions are not done by the GOP at large. These are private organizations that have votes on it. So that's the common denominator why they got singled out. But she thinks that's maybe appealing to a more noble motive. She really does believe that it's a situation of you're a rhino, you're not Republican enough, and they nailed these three organizations down, found a common denominator, found a reason for it.
And Tracy Wasden's name might seem familiar to a lot of people because her husband was the former Attorney General for decades here in the state of Idaho. Just recently was replaced by Raul Labrador in the primary.
Yeah, she even joked about that. I said, "Do you think this is personal to you at all?" She goes, "Well, they may not like my name." So she had a sense of humor about it a little bit.
A little bit. All right. Well, thank you very much, Andrew.